Now.
Okay.
Yay.
Oh, yeah, I see it. It says session recording.
Okay, perfect. Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the podcast. Today, we have a fabulous guest on the show. Debbie is an amazing and strong woman who is also one of my clients. I'm so excited. I have so loved working with Debbie. She has done so well on the nutritional and lifestyle protocol that we devised together. Because remember, it is not a one size fits all over here at Treasured Wellness. You get personalized to you and your needs, support, and care and direction. So welcome to the podcast, Debbie.
Hi, Michelle. It's good to be with you.
I am so happy to have you on today to shed some light for the ladies listening that you really can be your own best advocate for your health, right? That you can
You
trust.
have taught me so much of that. Yes, you definitely can. Yes.
You can. I mean, you can trust we can trust our God-given instincts about our own body and how we can actually heal and restore from the inside out. That's one of the things we've talked a lot about is healing from the inside out.
100%. It's totally worked that way for me. And because of that, I think it's made me even more like not apt because I'm doing it, but it makes me stick with it better. It makes me want to stay on the protocol that we're doing. So, yeah.
Absolutely. Well, would you share what your main trouble areas were that made you want to reach out to me for help?
Well, I think it started mostly with COVID and staying in and, baking zucchini chocolate chip muffins and every goodie I could think of and gaining weight. And I had done this protocol years ago and been successful, but I was like, I don't need to do that. I can stick to this myself. And I felt like I would be able to rein things in. But as time went on, I just kept gaining and I was really unhappy. I tried numerous, like a fasting. I tried other different protocols. I couldn't stick to anything. Nothing really worked for me. And I knew I could lose weight if I did this. So luckily, I knew the people that started it. And luckily, they gave me your name. So the rest is history. It just worked out perfectly.
And Debbie, you're referring to Dr. Todd Frisch and his beautiful wife, Linda, they both created the Shape Reclaimed protocol, nutritional protocol that I use in my coaching because it's so amazing. Everything's kind of laid out, but you also have the ability to look at your urine to see how your body is accepting and absorbing the changes that you're making, any tweaks that we need to make. Looking at the urine is really, really powerful. And of course, the homeopathy drops are amazing. Yeah. So yeah, that's what she's referring to. But of course, there's no one size fits all. So I roll off the rails a lot with what their protocol is because I tailor it to each client. And you and I have done that many, many times.
Yes.
So yeah, and amazing, amazing people. So one of your goals was less pain. Like, yes, you wanted to lose weight. You wanted to
I wanted to lose weight, and I have a lot of joint pain and probably filled with arthritis because I've been really active my whole life. I've played tennis my whole life. I've had a cleaning business. I've just physically been active. And I could just tell there was a lot of inflammation in me. So I knew I needed to get rid of some of the inflammation. I also had noticed, and probably because of the weight gain, never had high cholesterol, never had high blood pressure. I was always healthy that way. All of a sudden, my cholesterol started going up, and that really bothered me. And, doctors were telling me to go on cholesterol medicine, which I didn't want to do. And I tried doing it and had some bad side effects. So besides the vanity of not wanting to be as heavy as I was, it was also a health thing. And immediately the health part got better. I mean, really, it was just within a couple weeks because I purposely did my Medicare well checkup, and I pushed it back. I think we started mid-May, and I pushed it back into June, and my numbers were good. And I've been to the doctor since. My blood work is great. When I go to the doctor, my blood pressure is good. You know, the oxygen, everything they do is like fine. And now my weight's fine. So it makes me super, super happy that I did this. Yeah.
Yeah, and your back was really giving you a lot of pain too, so that it was affecting what you wanted to do, what brought you joy, you know, your
Exactly.
workouts, your pickleball, all of these things like you weren't able to do because you were in so much pain. And
Right.
so, like you said, it was almost an immediate, like every week that we talked, your back was better and better. You were
Yes.
waking up with less pain, and then you're like, I'm gonna go play pickleball.
Yes, and I did, and I was fine. You know, I waited for the kickback from it, and I didn't have it. I was just
You
fine.
didn't.
So
Yeah.
yeah, it was really a treat to have that.
Oh, for
Every
sure.
aspect of it has been positive, and it wasn't like super easy, but certainly in hindsight, it was like, yeah, no big deal. I don't know that I like struggled because I wanted to do it, and I do think starting within the first week, you can tell. So when you have immediate signs that this is working, you want to stick with it. That's how I felt about it.
Absolutely. What was your biggest takeaway from working together?
Oh, Michelle, you're fantastic. Are you kidding me? You were, well, I mean, we laughed every time we'd get on our Zoom, we would be laughing. So that's perfect right there. But no, you did really tailor it to what I needed, which I appreciate because I'm older. And so I think my daughter did it. And, you know, she's 25 years younger. Her needs and her body obviously are at a way different spot than mine. So post-menopausal woman doing this, I think you kept that in mind. And you also made it not be so rigid. Even though it's rigid, you would always like give the grace of it's okay or try this instead of being like so extreme. Like if I wanted to have my glass of wine, put a little sparkling water in that glass. I mean, even just ice cubes, whatever it is, there were ways of doing it without feeling so, oh my gosh, I'm so deprived. It just worked. It just worked beautifully. So, no, I've loved working with you. When I did it the first time, because I think it was so new, I didn't have the support. And your support, I think, has made all the difference in the world. It really has. It has, you know, it's just helped me stay on track. So, thank you for all of it.
Yeah, you're welcome. And you did amazing. And yeah, that's the key, right? Is it can't be across the board the same for everybody. It just can't be.
Yeah.
What's nice about the nutrition protocol is that you've got guides, you've got recipes, you've got helps, but every time we meet, we're talking about you specifically. We're talking
Yes.
about how it's affecting you. Are you
Yeah.
having trouble meal planning? Are you having trouble with your recipes? How can we create recipes that work for you that are, you know, maybe not so rigidly following the plan? Because one thing that is so important to me and in my coaching is that we are stripping away diet mentality. We are not talking about diet mentality. You know, diets don't work, period. They just
Right.
don't. And they're very deprivating and overwhelming. And so really formulating a plan that worked for you,
Yeah.
Debbie, that meant we're making tweaks. We're making, you know, because I never want anyone to feel like they're on a diet because
Yeah.
then, you know, we've all been there and it feels miserable.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you know, just the other day, last week when we spoke, I was kind of telling you, okay, the egg bites for breakfast are like, and you sent me that recipe for the Mediterranean ones. I think they're delicious. I mean, delicious.
Good.
So, and it's also helped me in my mindset, like with all the recipes that are in the shape, whatever the recipe book is. I'm realizing I can tweak them myself now,
Good.
because of what you've said. It's like, okay, if I don't like that, maybe if I tried this with it, it would be better. And the ones you gave me are great. So yeah, no, my cooking has changed. And I mean, it's just been interesting. Not that I don't ever not follow, because I do, but if I have people here now, they kind of eat what we're eating, which is fun.
Right.
Yeah. It's
And you're
really
an
fun.
amazing cook, from what I understand. Your
Well, I
daughter
don't know
says
if I'm
all the
amazing, but I
time.
don't mind cooking, which is good. It helps. And it did. The most important thing, I think, was learning how shopping and preparing stuff ahead is super, super important,
Yeah.
So I've just gotten to that. I know I have to do that.
Yeah, it's like that when we fail to plan, we plan to fail kind of
Exactly.
mindset. And
Yes.
and we talked about mindset a lot, didn't we, Debbie?
Oh, all the time, all the time. And I had never heard till we worked together that non-scale win, which is important because both my daughter and I got a little, obsessive about the numbers. And well, for one, the health issues was huge non-scale win.
Yes.
The physical not having pain was another non-scale win. I know my sleep is way better than it used to be. So there's all these other things that are like, oh, look at all these other perks I just got besides losing weight. So it does make it more of just a lifestyle instead of go on this diet, then you're going to go off the diet, then you're going to have to go back on it, blah, blah, blah. It's much better to be like this with a few
Right.
than this. So, and it just, because that's what I was doing before I called you. I was just up and down and I couldn't stick to it. The other things weren't working. So yeah, it's been fantastic working with you.
Well, thank you. And you have had so many non-scale wins. And that was something that we talked about every time we met, and those healthier mindset shifts that you made. I mean, honestly, that's gold for a lifetime of health, optimal health in body, soul, and spirit. So
Yes.
it was just amazing. It was so much fun going over those non-scale wins all the time. So, and plus you had amazing success with inches and weight loss.
Oh,
So
yeah. I know. I know it was, well, when Kate and I would measure, we would be laughing so hard, like, how did that many inches come off? And, most of my friends were like, you don't need to lose weight. I was not obese. I was not comfortable in my own skin. That was where I was. So, no, yeah, the inches that came off, the shift of everything has been fantastic. Yeah. Couldn't be
that's
happier.
wonderful. That's awesome. Well, how do you feel, Debbie, like the work that we've done together over these few months, how do you feel like that will have a long-lasting impact on you?
Well, I think because it has been 6 months or longer, it's kind of like my habits now. So if you remember, Michelle, when I first started, if I went off, remember I had a whole bunch of things to go to and I was so worried about how am I going to do it. And if I did veer off, then I'd come home and it'd be like, I need a cookie. I needed this. I needed that,
Right.
So now, like I just had a dinner the other night, and of course there was people brought the food. It wasn't what I prepared. So I ate it. My appetite has also gotten less, but I almost laughed at myself because after the fact, those thoughts came in my head like, oh, we still have ice cream in there because I know I go for the sweets. And I thought, how does your stomach feel right now? And I was like, really full. Why do you want to put ice? I mean, it was just like a conversation I had with myself. It's like,
Perfect.
oh, yeah, that wouldn't be very good. Just moved right along. It was like no big deal.
I love that.
Wow. Yeah, that was huge. That was huge. So I do think it's just kind of in me now. I feel like they say it takes 21 days to form a habit. This has been a lot of 21 days. So I'm just hoping my habits are pretty good now. I mean, they're all so beneficial for me and for my partner who, without even doing this shape, has lost weight. And yeah, So it's just been really successful.
Yeah, that's another perk, right? Is having our spouses, you know, actually eating what, you know, you're eating, and therefore like they're getting health benefits as well. So it's so fun.
100%. And at first I said, I'm going to do this and I'm going to be preparing different foods. So if you don't want what I'm preparing, you can make something else. And actually, I did make him a few things different, but he said, I like what you're eating. I mean, he's had different things, but there's, it was like a quiche. The crust was the cauliflower, and I can't remember what the name of the recipe was. He loved it. He keeps asking for me to make that again. And Linda's chili is wonderful.
Yes.
And I made a chicken chili the other day that I brought to a party. It was eaten like crazy, so that's not a hard lifestyle to live,
No.
So
No, and that I appreciate you saying that so much, that it's not a hard lifestyle to live, because we have been inundated. There's so much noise in the wellness space around us, especially, as we get older and we are having hormonal issues. There's so much that we are inundated with, and we just need to quiet the noise. Like, we need to just quiet the noise and do what works for us. And that's why what I do is so personalized and individualized to suit each person. And it has to be for that lifetime of success, that lifetime of optimal health. So you've done a fabulous job implementing what we've talked about.
You. But I saw you doing it, personalizing, because Kate and I would talk to you together. So it was easy for me to see how you did that, because you weren't telling her always the same things you were telling me. She's had great success as well. But I was just going to say something and it flew out of my head. No, I do think you're right. One size doesn't fit all in anything. We're not, we're all unique. And so, yeah, no, you've done a really good job of helping me with my little areas of concern. And I feel really strong about it. And I didn't feel that way before. So even if, like, I was in London for 8 days, right?
Yes.
It was hard to stay on track, but when I could, I did. And the other thing you taught me was about, like, adult bullies. And once you said those words, it just made me laugh. So, like, before, if people would kind of like give me the eye or like, why are you doing that? Now it's kind of like, why are you being a bully to me? What's it to you? It doesn't matter. So, and
Right.
all those people that are bullies are telling me how great I look. So, okay, thank you.
Right.
Yeah.
So true. So true. Oh, I love that. Well, thank you for sharing. Do you have any final thoughts or comments that you want to share?
Well, if anybody that's listening to your podcast is on the fence, Linda Frisch told me to call you, and that was the best advice she gave me. I'm sure there's lots of wonderful practitioners out there, but Michelle, you were so good, and you know your stuff so well. If somebody's on the fence, I say go for it. Call Michelle and do it, because you will be so happy that you did. Yeah, you've been wonderful. Yeah.
Thank you
Plus,
so much.
if you lived closer, we could just be friends. Too bad we don't live closer. I know.
Well, and that's the thing, right? Because we will text and we will message and we will, because yeah, exactly. We just had a blast together. We are still having a blast together. And I know that we'll be continuing to keep in touch. And that's the beauty of, the way we do things, is that, once you feel like you are just needing these maintenance check-ins, you have the ability to do that. So it's not like you're just sent on your way. Okay, time's up. You go figure this out on your own. No, that's not how I operate. So,
and that's what's worked so great, because we did start out with that every week. And then as time went on, we've kind of shifted to every 2 weeks, and then now once a month. And I don't want to stop. I know, like, the check-in is going to be really important, So, yeah.
Well, you've done amazing. You look great, but most importantly, you feel great. Your energy is so much improved. Your pain is like diminished. And you have so many exciting things in store for you in this next year. And so I'm just so happy that you were able to come on and share your story with everybody. Thank you.
Oh, thanks for asking me. Happy to do it.
Awesome.